Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the GABNET Tour Bus. Today our tour will take us up and around the newly designed GABNET.net webpage. For your safety, please stay seated while the bus is in motion and enjoy your trip. Also, remember that tipping your tour guide is greatly appreciated. Okay, we're off. The first place of interest that we're going to pass on the top left, you'll see a rotating billboard of all of the great GABNET programs. Legend has it that legendary broadcaster Alex Bennett created this billboard to attract early visitors to GABNET and to lure them into his site. To this day, it's one of the top attractions on our tour. Up next, look over at the top right and you'll see the most recent video of Alex Bennett's Ramble. And if you're lucky enough, we'll see Alex interacting with the citizen panel. Always a tour highlight. Did I mention that tipping your tour guide is greatly appreciated? As we approach the bottom of the Ramble video, we see quick links to all the ways that you can connect with GABNET programs. Facebook Live, YouTube, TuneIn, Livestream, Vimeo, and the GABNET Roku channel. They're all additional stops that you can make if you choose to step off the bus. But remember, please tip your tour guide if you do, and then you can hop on the next bus. Here's another highlight on our tour. On the left side, you'll see GABNET On Demand. You can quickly access any of the most recent programs there. Clearly, a value spot on our tour because downloads are at no extra cost. Please give your attention now to the right side. Look at the complete tutorial on how easy it is to become a citizen panelist. By the way, if you're a Luddite, there's a phone number that you can use to dial in. Okay, we're nearing the halfway point on our trip. I certainly hope that you're enjoying it. Oh look, there's the convenient call Skype button that you can click on, which will automatically connect you to the citizen panel. So now we're turning down the center of the page. I don't want you to miss any of these attractions, so please pay attention. Up first is a link to the 24/7 feed. Now these are going to come fast and furious, so pay attention. Next is a quick note on how you can hear GABNET on Amazon Echo. Next, quickly coming behind that, and this is always exciting, a screen that shows Alex Bennett's Ramble when it is live, with a countdown to the next show. It's always fun when we pass and the show is live. We're winding down our tour of GABNET.net, but before we reach our final stop, it's important to note that there is a place for you to contact them with your comments. Let them know how you like GABNET.net and the GABNET programming. And with that, we wrap up our tour. Remember, as you step off the bus, to please be careful. And also remember that GABNET is talk like you've never heard or seen it before. Did I mention, please tip your tour guide?
Spotify has 180 million monthly users and access to 35 million songs and podcasts. Now, all those offerings are going to have to move over and make room for GABNET programming. Yes, at long last, Alex Bennett's Ramble, Damian Chaplin's Exchange, Jack Bishop's The Intersection, and even the franchise MC's Arena and Michael Snyder's weekly movie reviews will be fighting for space on this massive platform. Each day, the programs are updated, so you can hear them on the Spotify app, available for all smartphones and game consoles. Or you can just go to Spotify on the web at spotify.com. So, give us a shot on Spotify. There's a 35 million to 5 chance we'll get people to listen to talk like they've never heard it before. Reasons why you tune into GABNET. Here's reason number 9. Great celebrity guests.
So how many years is this now with Teller?
43, and that's 43 continuous. You can try to say Keith Richards and Mick Jagger go longer, but they take 3, 4, 5 years off. You know, even when they're together, they take the time off. Continuous, you know, no more than 2 weeks working apart, I think.
Wow. And
like being waterboarded for 43 years.
GABNET. Reasons to listen every day. Log on to GABNET.net for more. GABNET. It's talk like you've never heard it before. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey! Hey, oh there, you want to see me, you don't want to see that. Here's what you want to see. Wait a minute. I fuck up, okay? All right, so I fuck up. Big deal. Big deal. I'm sorry. I screwed up. And I do occasionally, and we will be here screwing up till midnight, Eastern Daylight Time. I almost said 10 o'clock. I see, I'm screwing up like crazy. Shall I start the whole show over again? No, I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting over there acting like she doesn't want to be here, so maybe I should just let her go.
Okay.
Huh?
No.
What?
I'm here for the long haul.
You're here for the long haul? Wonder why my microphone sounds so bass and yours doesn't. I'll turn up the bass on yours. Or maybe I'll turn the bass down on mine and the bass down on yours. I don't know. I never can figure out certain things. There we go. Now my sound is right. Okay. All right. So how are you doing?
Good. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday.
Yeah, I should have adjusted that.
I celebrated Friday today.
You celebrated Friday today?
Yeah.
How did you celebrate Friday today?
I stayed home.
You stayed home. It was you take a day off every now and then, right?
Yes, I'm using up my days.
Your days? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see here. I want to tilt you. I want to change your tilt here. Wait a minute. That's not doing it. It's not. Huh. It's cancel. Cancel. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Am I getting your thing? I'm trying to pan up a little bit here so that pan. Oh, it doesn't seem to move. Doesn't seem to go at all. I see why. Because the zoom. I'll zoom in a little. No, I can't do that. Well,
stop it.
I'm trying to get it so you're not as.
It's fine.
You're kind of low on the screen. Okay.
It's fine.
All right, it's fine. We'll say it's fine. It's not fine, but you'll say it's fine. Okay. All right. I'm sniffling. I got a sniffle.
Here we go.
No, I've got.
Here we go.
There's some kind of look. I'm not complaining about my health. Have I been complaining about my health lately?
Duh.
No, just now I sniffled and I said I've got something, maybe a little.
I can't
sniffle.
take it anymore. I'm going to go to bed.
Well, wait a minute. I'm not. I haven't been complaining about my health at all, have I?
Listen to this.
Like my feet are marginally better.
Listen to this.
Life is good. I was discussing with Shecky today that I think it's time for me to take you on a vacation.
I would hope so.
Like
9 years.
And I said, well, I don't do it because this goddamn GabNet holds me here. And he says, that's keeping you from going anywhere.
That's true.
Your priorities aren't right.
Oh, thank you.
He said,
thank you, Shecky.
What, you're not going to take a vacation for the 50 people that listen to this show
That's
every
right.
night? And by the way, he's right.
He's absolutely right.
He's right, because really yesterday was one of the worst days for people listening to this program or watching it on Facebook or watching it on any of the various things that we have. So there are certain things I'm thinking of doing, like stopping doing the show. I mean, I'll let the other guys do their show. I just may stop doing mine.
Just come in here now and then and do your thing.
I'll do other little projects. Mm-hmm. Maybe start up an Alex Bennett channel.
Okay.
Yeah. Put that out 24/7, where I'm playing really old programs of mine. Just nothing but 24/7 a day. That'd go good, wouldn't it? I don't know. I just, and like last weekend, we had a huge amount of people listening to all our various things. So I don't understand it.
It's the weather, it's the season. Oh, by the way, we have to put the clocks back tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. And we have to do one
Fall
other thing.
back.
We have to do one other thing tomorrow.
What?
What do you think?
I have no.
What do you think we have to do tomorrow?
I have no idea.
What do you think? Is it on my calendar? I don't think it's on my calendar. I think you didn't put it on my calendar.
It's on there.
So if it's not on my calendar, no, it's not there. Wait a minute. Oh, excuse me. No, it's not there.
I put it in for yearly.
Well, I'm sorry, it isn't in my calendar.
Well, then you just have to know it.
Oh, you mean? Oh, well, what? Really? What we're talking about is it's your birthday. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
How old you gonna be?
Let's not go in there.
How old you gonna be?
Alex, stop it.
How old you gonna be?
Stop it.
How old you gonna be?
Stop it.
Are you going to be 80?
Stop it,
80
Alex.
years old. She's going to be 80 years old.
Good night, everyone.
No. Where are you going? Just sit there.
Well, let's not talk about it.
She's going to be 80 years old.
So what?
No, actually, she's younger than I am.
Just stop it. Just stop it.
She's younger than I am. What do you mean? What?
Good.
Wait, can I ask you a question? Come on, just guy to a woman.
I
okay?
can't take this anymore.
Wait a minute.
Is there any nice single guys out there?
You can't.
Really?
You
the
can't-
few that are listening
you
to
can't-
the Alex Bennett show, do you want to call me
You
up?
can't- you
I'm
can't-
ready.
you can't
I'm
do what?
available, and I'm here.
You can't do what? You can't take what? I'm. You know, I don't know what it is about women that you don't want to tell us your age. Why age is such a horrible thing with you.
Well, yeah, whatever.
You don't look your age because you color your hair. Well, I got to tell you what she told me that her hairdresser said to her, and if I had a hairdresser say this to me, I would tell them to go fuck themselves and never go back again. What did he tell you? He told you that if you didn't color your hair, you'd look 10 years older.
You do.
And I thought about it for a second, and I said, you know, maybe she should keep coloring her hair because I don't want to wake up in the morning and say, I'm living with an old lady.
That's right. That's right.
But, you know, you always used to put me down for coloring my hair.
Well, because it was orange.
Well, yours is kind of orange.
It is not.
It's kind of a lavender orange.
It is not.
Well, you don't see it like other people do.
Go fuck yourself.
But anyway, and every day, you know, she's home late. And I'm thinking maybe she's out cheating on me. You know, that would be almost an acceptable answer. But every day I had my nails done today. I had my hair done today. You know, I had a facial today. You know, it's the upkeep on you.
It's the maintenance.
What is the maintenance costing you?
A lot. More than normal. More than 20 years ago.
I mean, you're the only one who really works in this family, so I'm not going to, you know, make a big deal out of it.
And I have to get dressed, and I have to put clothes on, and I have to look proper.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And then the gym, she pays $2,000 a year to her gym. How much I pay to mine?
Doesn't matter.
I pay about $200 a year to mine. Less than that, actually.
And your point is?
$180 a year.
And your point is?
As opposed to your $2,000. What are you getting for $2,000? Is there a cabana boy that eats you out or something?
You're rude.
Well, I want to know what makes it worth $2,000. They got
10-14.
They got the same machines I do at mine.
It's not just machines. There's classes there.
Well, there are two things that we have to show tonight.
Steam baths.
We have two things to show them tonight during our segment.
What?
First of all, we went to Costco the other day. Now, you know, we had this video we ran of a weekly thing, or she does whenever she goes to Costco with me, in which she goes to where the Depends are and yells at the top of her lungs, Alex, they've got your Depends in stock. Yeah, you do that all the time. And so we did a montage of about 5 of these that she did. But we were in Costco last week, and there was a little difference in the way they were handling the situation. Let me play it right here.
I don't think I saw this.
Come see it right here.
She's going to try to do her thing, right? She's going to try and do it, but she's not going to be able to watch. Huh? You going to make your joke? You're going to make your joke?
Alex, they have the adult super size.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They're not there anymore. Where are
The
they?
Depends for you, Alex.
Where are they?
Your Depends are ready. I'm picking them up.
You're picking them up where?
Extra large.
Are you finding them?
I found them.
No, you didn't find them. But I found them.
They seem to only have the women's section.
You.
The men's are down there.
No, the men's aren't down there. I think they're over more.
No.
But they moved them, and that was not fun for her. So now she just has to.
See? Things change.
Now we know.
Yeah.
Pellegrino.
Pellegrino, you said. Yeah. So that was one of the things that we wanted to show. Now last week, see, I don't mind being made fun of. It's been my career. There's also been every reason to make fun of me, but it's been my career. So
Where are you going with this?
where am I going with this? I have no idea. But
I'm going to see the other film.
I don't have any other.
You
films.
said there were two things you
I
want to
said
show.
two things I want to show.
Well, let's see number two.
Last week you challenged me to show something. Do you remember? See, she's an old lady and she doesn't remember.
I don't
stuff.
remember. What did I challenge you on? There's so many things.
On a photograph of me.
Oh, the before picture, yeah.
Yeah, the before
Oh,
picture.
look at
Wait a
this.
minute. Wait a minute.
Oh,
wait a
my
minute.
God.
We gotta see it. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Make it large.
This is me. Well, this is me now. Okay. Does that look okay?
You stand up straight, maybe.
Yeah. Does it look
I don't know
okay?
why you have the need to put your T-shirt in.
What? What?
Why you put your T-shirt inside?
Because that way it'll show that I have a waist here.
Well, I wouldn't
to
go
show
that
the
far.
difference.
I wouldn't go that far.
Look.
But
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You wouldn't.
it's straight.
What
It's
do I
just-
get for losing all that weight?
Well, show them this.
Okay. Well, anyway, this was. I don't know.
before
When did you
picture.
take this picture?
Definitely before your diet.
It was no. When
Did you
was
see
it?
what I wrote on here?
What did it say?
Got milk?
Why does it say got milk?
Because I put it on.
Why does it say got milk? You're
'Cause
talking to the mic.
Your boobs look so big.
Oh, really? Oh, my boobs look. I don't look anything like that now, do
I would hope not.
I? Huh? I'm different now.
Yeah, you're still slumped over, but you're thinner.
I'm still slumped over.
But you're thinner.
Yeah, yeah. So that
And
was.
get this.
Yeah.
He gets into the bed, he flops. He flops around.
You know, don't you have any? Look, by the way, this is me now, just so you can see the difference. Okay, is that a difference? This side and this side.
Stand up straight.
I'm standing
There
up
you
straight.
go.
Does it look? I look better, right?
Well, you look better than that photo,
Yeah, yeah,
the got milk photo.
yeah. But do I look like I've lost weight?
Well, compared to that, yes.
Oh, but I don't look. I still look fat.
No, I didn't say you still look fat, but you're not tight.
Well, neither are you. I have no idea what that just meant. You're not tight.
10:18.
I work out, but no, not yet. Don't just sit over there, okay? Let's not even do that bit yet. It's not even time to do it yet.
It's
Hey.
10:19.
So do I don't look like I have gained weight.
Alex,
Have
stop
I gained
it.
weight? Do I
Stop
look like
it.
I've gained
I'm
weight?
not going to feed into your insecurity.
Do I look like I've gained
I
weight?
am not going to feed into that.
Anyway, so I showed that picture, see?
Yes, you did.
You see? So now you can tell us how old you are.
I'm sorry.
I embarrassed myself. Now
Well-
you can embarrass yourself.
No.
Come on.
If I wanted to, I would.
You would. Okay.
So there.
Well, you
All
know.
I know is I'm a year older than last year.
Yeah. And so anyways, so Shecky said that we should go on a vacation.
I think that's a great idea.
Now I have to go out to California.
I'm going with you
Well,
to help you do that.
No. To
Yeah.
help me do what?
The show.
No, we're not doing the show.
should.
That's not why I'm going to California. I'm going to Oregon actually
Oh,
to see Ronnie. You know, but I thought you maybe would meet me in San
that
Francisco.
sounds good.
You know, because I
Yeah.
know you probably don't want to go up to.
Well, I haven't been invited.
Well, I don't know. You know, you didn't get along with her, did you?
Well, I was only with her one time and she didn't say a word to me, so what can I say?
Well, it's a good reason.
That's a good indication.
There's a good reason. You're an you're a current wife. Were you a wife at the time?
No,
No, you weren't. You were just a girlfriend.
I was just a girlfriend.
Well, she probably has that attitude. I've seen them come and I've seen them go, and she just wanted to make sure that you were,
Yeah.
you know. So anyway, I have to go out there because she's dying, and I would like to see her before she she goes. So I figured I would go to Portland, or I could go to Portland afterwards.
No, go first.
Well, no, I'm thinking that
We'll go home together.
no, but it's easier to go to.
We'll go home together.
Oh, okay. Well, what I might do is go to San Francisco and then drive to Portland.
No, we'll be together.
No, you're not doing that trip with me to Portland, and then you would join me a few days later in San Francisco. Yeah, but that's hardly a vacation, as I see it.
It's not a vacation. It's just a long weekend.
Yeah. Shecky was talking about where he wants to go. There is a $4,000 trip to Egypt to go see a lot of places that they know.
They don't let Jews in there.
They let Jews.
They let Jews now?
Yeah. There's like a tour of pyramids in which they let you go places that the public is not normally allowed to go. And so he wants to do that trip, and that sounds great.
It sounds nice. I mean, it's not on my top 10 list.
It's like a $4,000 trip, but it's...
Well, you know something, but by the time all is said and done, that's what it's going to cost you anyway.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah, really, think about it.
Well, a piece?
I don't know. It's been so long.
What do you mean it's been so long? Well, we could, when you go to Hong Kong, we could do
That doesn't count.
Well, no, we could then go somewhere after that.
I've asked you every year for the last
Well, the
9
trouble
years.
is to go to Hong Kong. Here's the problem. I've told you this before. I have miles. But
So you go
I have
on-
miles on United.
So go on United.
No, they don't have a United flight to Hong Kong.
They have it to San Francisco and then to Hong Kong. Or they have it to Beijing and then to Hong
No,
Kong.
but what I looked at was I had to take China Air.
China Air's not bad.
And but China Air, you have to go to Beijing first and then down to Hong Kong. So it's a longer trip than something that would go directly to Hong Kong.
It's not that much longer.
So I'll meet you in Vietnam. How's that?
Vietnam, I would like to visit.
Or Hanoi. That would be nice. Or I could meet you.
Thailand also is supposed to be nice.
What I would like to do, Joanna Lumley, those documentaries she did on traveling the Silk Road, some of those cities were unbelievable. And they were places you never heard of in your life.
Yeah.
You know, you would think that in I think it was, where was she, Kazakhstan? That these cities would be
Old.
a Stone Age. They're modern they look better than New York City, for Christ's sake.
That would be fun to plot it out, do like a little bit, and then a year later maybe do some more. You know what I mean? There's only so many.
The Silk Road is just it's an
Fascinating.
amazing, fascinating history. Besides silk, which would come from China,
Well,
using
the spices,
Silk Road,
that's how all the spices
and all that. And you know what else? Did you remember the documentary?
Tell me.
The bubonic plague, because they traveled from Asia and it went to Europe via the Silk Road. Yeah, so
It's 10:24.
By the last night I had a pissing match with Brian, because he said that the American Indians gave the whites syphilis. And I seem to remember syphilis.
Probably the reverse.
No, I seem to remember syphilis starting in Europe. And I looked it up last night, and sure enough, it did. The French brought it from somewhere into Europe, syphilis. And this was about 1490. Now, it wasn't until 1492 that Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
But he didn't end up in the United States.
But there was, what I'm saying is there was syphilis in Europe before there ever was syphilis here.
Well, you'll tell Brian call in tonight.
Then Brian looked up something, and it said the American Indians had syphilis. Okay, no, that they actually had syphilis here, a form of syphilis, and trying to prove his point. And I said, but that wasn't your point. Your point was that the white man came here and the Indians gave them syphilis. They had never had syphilis before that. I said, no, they had syphilis in Europe before that ever happened. So, and so then he started sending me messages like
Brian?
crazy. And I'm lying in bed with my watch because I keep the watch on so I can tell how much I slept. And it keeps going off another message from Brian.
Brian, not after 1 in the morning.
Yeah, not after 1 in the morning.
I turn my sound off on my phone from 9 to 12.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
if
it's totally goes. Anybody that calls goes
Yeah.
right to voicemail. I don't hear it.
But if you turn off the watch, okay,
Then it doesn't measure
Well,
the
I can
sleep.
turn off the ring on the watch. I'll still get the vibration.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
No, not yet.
It's 10:25.
No, not yet. What are you doing? You're impinging upon my square.
Come on.
So anyway, that was my little pissing match last night with Brian. He's stubborn. He's just really stubborn.
Oh, and you're not.
No, I'm a delight. In fact, I'm a delight to be with lately. Don't you think?
Yes, you're coming out of your miserable son of a bitch, piece of shit mood.
Well, because I this medicine I'm taking to take care of the.
I'm
numbness,
delighted. That's all I have to
It
say.
makes me drowsy all the time, but it makes me absolutely.
I'm delighted.
Acceptable.
I'm delighted.
I mean, we had a little argument today. We won't go into what.
That's not good.
But it wasn't.
Please, everything that ended well.
It wasn't my fault.
No, it wasn't.
It was
but
something you did.
Yeah, but you haven't let me hear the end of it. You keep bringing it up.
Well, because I want to make sure you've learned your lesson.
I have, and now enough.
Yeah, sure you have.
It's 10:27. That's enough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Not yet. I'm not going to the phones yet. I'm not phones.
coming here.
I'm not going to the Skype yet. What?
Okay. So-
Do you see that empty square over there? You see that empty square? Oh, there. That
Yeah,
over
but I'm
over here.
I'm over here.
Over here. Where?
I'm
There.
over here.
There. Over here.
That's me.
Okay. No, this square over here.
That's
See
me.
this square? I'll put my hand over in it. See? I see that square over there. That's where you're supposed to be.
Well,
Huh? Well,
bring me over.
no. What do you mean bring you over? What do I want to bring you over for?
Let's share this.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me see here.
Is it a feel-free night?
No, last night was a feel-free night. So anyway, last night let me introduce.
I had something very interesting happen to me today.
What's that?
I posted something on Facebook that I got that somebody else had posted that I shared it because I thought it was important. It was about a synagogue in Oakland, California that they had sprayed fuck Jews, and I put it on and a lot of people were responding to it and all of a sudden it was gone.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't take it off.
And then Facebook sent you a note.
They sent me a note, and I tried to respond to them, but their thing was down. They said, try back.
But they didn't say you did anything wrong.
No, I
right?
haven't gotten into Facebook. Because
But they said something to the
lines are
effect of
down.
that you were hacked or something.
They didn't
or-
say hacked. Somebody got into your account or something like that.
Really?
Anyway, it was removed.
They probably thought it was somebody else putting that on your page.
I don't know. It was just terrible.
You know, the fact is that Facebook are becoming Nazis. They're making
I
decisions.
may take a long vacation from Facebook.
I'm thinking about that
Yeah.
too. I'm
I
thinking
just
about
shut it
that.
down.
Doesn't
for a
do me
while.
any good anyway to be on Facebook.
Well, it gets me too riled up politically. I mean, I'm constantly putting stuff up.
Well, anytime I put anything up, I get a lot of people trolling, you know, and then all of a sudden, like there'll be these. I don't mind if a discussion group starts off of something I write, but when it becomes an argument between two people and they just keep arguing back and forth, and monopolize the thread, that I just hate that. I wish you could control that, but unfortunately you can't.
Oh, Peaches Courage said, Alex, you look Spanish. My mom is dark-ish, and her ancestors are from there. Your wife looks so good for someone wearing no makeup. You guys don't look your age. You know that? Thank you so much, Peaches.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I look younger than she does, but
Well-
that's... It's her birthday tomorrow.
It's my birthday tomorrow.
That means I buy dinner
Yeah.
at a very expensive restaurant.
It's not very expensive. It's moderate.
It's pricey.
It's not pricey.
It's pricey. It comes to at least, I don't know, $36. That's more than McDonald's. I mean, why can't you be happy with a Happy Meal?
So there.
Huh?
So there.
She can't be happy with just any restaurant.
Well,
You know.
it's 10:30.
What?
No one's calling.
I know. I got the lines open and everything. Last night we had trouble with our Skype, and I thought it might be Skype trying to fuck me over because I won't use their new system. But I turned off Skype and then turned it back on, and it corrected the problem. So let's see if everything's working fine tonight.
I'm wearing my We Are Penn State shirt.
But nobody's choosing to call. And if they don't call within 5 minutes,
you turn off.
I'll turn off everything, and we'll go to sleep early tonight together. Yeah. We watched the Orson Welles film today, the finished Orson Welles film, the last film he ever made that has been held up for years. You know why? It was in Iran.
Yeah,
and because we were at war with Iran, we couldn't get the film out. So thank you, President Obama, because we got health care and Orson Welles' final film. Now, you didn't like it, and I liked it better than you did.
Well,
so
that's why they have.
It's not his greatest work, but it's certainly interesting, you know. Well, nobody's calling.
Okay, why don't we say at 25 of?
Yeah. I'll just turn the whole thing off?
Yeah, and we'll say good night, everyone. I'm going to say it now.
Really? Why are you going to say it now,
Because
honey?
I'm tired and I have to get up early.
Oh, isn't that disgusting? Two old people kissing.
It is. I saw a couple one time.
Should we tongue kiss?
No.
Come on, let's tongue kiss. Come on, let's show
them. They were
them.
older than us, and they were, really old.
Talking
and
to
they
the
were,
microphone.
They were. Well, you keep making
No,
it go
I'm
there.
not. No,
and
I'm
they
not.
were passionately kissing each other on the subway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It kind of looked like, I don't want to take my head away. I want to watch this.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. The Skype line is open, but nobody's calling.
Okay, why don't we wrap up for the night?
They certainly can call me.
Yeah, but they're not. So why don't you just take an early night? I'm going to take an early night.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, we can always count on Phil.
Can always count on Phil.
Yeah.
Hi, Phil.
Hi. How you doing this evening?
Fine. We're doing okay.
Yeah, I think that you should be congratulating yourself. I noticed last night your YouTube subscribers reached 700.
Oh, did they? Oh, you mean the subscribers?
You're right. Well, that's you've accumulated almost 50 subscribers in the last month and a half or so.
Good.
Well, I should have like 2,000. Okay.
Hey,
I mean,
this is not radio.
Believe me, it's not my career.
It is your career.
Well,
it's what's left of your career.
You were hoping to get 700, and I don't know if you saw that milestone.
I had
reached it.
I'd seen that I'd reached 699.
Right.
And I didn't know that we'd hit that milestone.
Yeah, you have the magic 700.
Which gets me absolutely nothing from YouTube.
Congratulations.
No, thank you.
Good night, Phil.
Hey, good night.
Take care.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Yeah.
Well, while you were doing Gabnet last night, I actually hung out with one of your listeners. They invited me to go to a cigar bar, and this guy's been listening to your show ever since you've been in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hey, he contacted me on Facebook and said, hey, I'd like to get together. Let's have a cigar. So I said, sure. Mm-hmm. So he took me up on it, and we got together and had a wonderful time. At this place, I don't know anything about Irish whiskey, but
why is your camera shaking every time you talk?
Oh, I'm probably leaning on the desk.
Yeah, I think you are. Yeah.
Okay, I'll lean on the chair arms. So anyway, they had an exhibition on Irish whiskey, and it was very interesting. I had a good time. The guy was a nice guy. His name is Paul Jung, mm-hmm. and I asked him why he doesn't call the show, and he said he did call you when you did the radio show in New York. What's his name? Walter's show, and he said he was the guy that said lay off of Phil.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he's a real fan of yours, and I was happy to meet him. Mm-hmm. He was a good guy, and some of his friends and family. So while you were discussing the pluses and minuses of Trump, I was smoking a really good cigar.
What were we talking about last night? I can't remember now.
I don't know. It's always
always the same old shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and
So-
now it doesn't look like anybody's calling tonight, which is amazing.
Well, are you sure everything's working? I went in the normal way through the contacts. You know, I listened and I heard afterwards.
well, the
and I heard
problem
you were
happened to
having
be, I
problems.
think the problem happened to be with my Skype, and when I turned it off and then turned it back on, it started running properly. So,
Yeah. You don't think that it's punishment for being thrown out of TuneIn?
no, I don't think so. I've been so crying over that because I you know, we had a partnership agreement with TuneIn, and then I sat there and stopped feeling bad about it when I suddenly realized what I had gotten out of it was absolutely nothing.
Is this another divorce but without alimony?
It's another divorce where you forgot you were married to the person. You know?
Yeah, I know, but you know, if they're gonna get rid of you, at least they can do is buy you off. You're not working. You're not.
I mean, I wish I could
receiving
even.
income.
I wish I could even feel like nasty enough that I could say, "Fuck TuneIn. Don't ever use TuneIn again. Don't listen to them." But I don't really care because they didn't do shit for me with this partnership. I don't even know what that was about. I think I got about a week's worth of jizz out of them, and that's about it. You know?
Yeah, I think what's his name up in Canada was the one that kind of put that together for some reason.
No, I put it together.
Oh, you put it together?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
that was my deal completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he
But,
just constantly liked to call us a tune-in partner. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it was probably a good thing to do at the time. It got you a week or so of publicity. And, you know, that's better than a kick in the ass or a sharp poke in the eye.
Nah, doesn't mean anything. Is anybody else going to call tonight, or is it just going to be Phil and I? Jeez, I don't know what's happened. Nobody listens to us anymore. It's funny, we got a lot of people watching us tonight.
Yeah.
And let's see, how's the listenership doing? Maybe the listenership is doing okay too. Let me see here. Yeah, we got a lot of people listening to us. So why isn't anybody calling us?
Beats me.
Beats you.
But, you know.
And I don't want to have to watch his desk shaking like crazy.
Oh, I'm
The
sorry.
camera's just shaking.
You know what I'll do?
What?
Is I'll stick it on a stand that's isolated from the desk.
Yes, that's what you should do.
Yeah, right now it's on the monitor, on
Yeah.
the top of the monitor,
Yeah.
and the monitor is connected to the desk.
And the desk is a cheap desk.
It's an IKEA desk.
Oh, well, then it's a cheap desk.
Yeah, although it's shaped in a way like you'd see in a studio, it curves.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
But it also shakes, which means it's not stable. Like, for instance, I can shake this table here, and you
Yeah.
really don't see much of a shake, you know,
No.
because it's they're real stable tables. Stable tables.
Yeah, stable tables.
Stable tables.
Well, what I'll do is I have all of these stands, and I can just mount it on a stand that's independent of the table,
Yeah.
because I like shaking the table.
You like shaking the table. I see. Okay.
It's about the only thing I can shake anymore.
Yeah. So you went to a cigar bar. I don't know what I would do at a cigar bar because I don't like cigars.
Well, you know, I don't smoke that often. Unlike Rob, he's a real cigar aficionado.
Yeah.
I have some cigars that I bought. A friend of mine had a friend who passed away, and this guy had an enormous contingent of Cuban cigars. So he says, "Do you want to buy a box? I'm selling them off for his widow."
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a box of Cuban cigars. This is 4 years ago. I had 30 cigars. I still have 26.
Yeah.
So
Don't they go bad after a while, or you have them in a humidor?
I have them in a humidor, but the guy last night really knows his cigars.
Yeah.
And Paul, and he told me that eventually they'll mold if you leave them if you have them too long.
Mm-hmm.
Although the cigar that he gave me, he brought, and it was not Cuban, but it was so superior to the cigars that I have. Now I'm jaded.
Well, maybe, you know, who says there aren't lousy Cuban cigar makers in Cuba?
Yeah, well, these are supposedly really premium
Listen,
cigars.
the only reason we wanted Cuban cigars, okay,
'Cause you can't
was
have 'em.
because you couldn't have them. You know?
Right.
Although there's a great story of a friend of mine who was in London, and he went to a cigar store and figured, you know what I can do? I can buy Cuban cigars here. So he goes into the store, and the owner says, well, I have some fine Cuban cigars here. He said, let me suggest this one. And he gives it to him. He said, would you like to smoke it here? And he said, yeah. He said, I think I'll have one with you. And so he took one, and then he helped him clip the end of it or whatever you do.
Yeah.
And then to light it. And then he took a puff off of his, and he looked up in the air and blew the smoke out and said, you Americans are so stupid. You know. And
well,
the guy said it was
like when you go to a bar and you tell the bartender have one for yourself.
Yeah.
And he takes a glass of water and charges you $40.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, is anybody else going to call tonight, or is it just going to be you and me? That could be very boring.
Yeah. Well, especially if we start talking about Apple stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh no. You know what we can talk about? We can talk about something really that makes no sense at all. Let me see here. Something that's really boring. How to replace RAM in an old Mac would be a good topic here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh,
that'll increase listeners, though.
Huh?
That'll increase listeners. It's Tech Talk.
Well, so far we now can add somebody to the. Well, did I speak too soon? Oh, there he is. There he is. There's Jason.
Mr. Jason.
It's Jason. Hello, Jason.
Hey, how's it going?
Now you're where again? I'm trying to remember.
Just north of Detroit.
North of Detroit. Do you have any major elections happening there? I mean, any major contests?
Governor,
yeah.
Senators.
Yeah.
Are you near Oak Park?
Yeah.
Not really.
Oh, okay.
So how is it looking in your neck of the woods?
Polls wise, it's a little hit and miss. You know, one day they'll sit there and say, you know, it's almost tied, and then the next day they come out and say that, you know, the Democrats are going to like sweep, you know, and so I don't know.
I don't think we're really going to know anything till it happens.
Day.
You know.
And we may not even know on the day. It may end up taking more time. It may end up being runoffs because so many of these races are within the margin of error or in a dead heat.
Yeah, and they say the Republicans might actually pick up some Senate seats, but if they lose the House, I would be happy with that. You know.
At least one thing is positive in Michigan. We have, I think it's Proposal 2. They want to get rid of the gerrymandering.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, it'll actually be they say it's how California does it. How do they do it over there? Because it says it's an independent, you know, council that decides the districts.
In California, they just bust in the illegal aliens and felons and
Sweet.
Tell them to vote.
That's good. That's good. And how exactly do they prove they're legal?
They don't. They just
because in California they don't mind if you're illegal and you vote. Is what you're saying?
You know, there's a couple of places, San Francisco.
Because you know the Democrats now have been literally accused of just about everything. I think the latest ad I saw said that if elected, cats will start having sex with dogs. I think I saw an ad to that extent.
In San Francisco, they actually are allowing illegals to vote in the school for the school race.
They'll let the illegals vote for the prom queen and king? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well... Is that how you got elected? But no, it's the school board, I think, and they're allowing people to.
Oh, so they'll let the parents of the students vote. Doesn't
Right.
matter on their citizenship.
That's
does that honestly, Phil? Does that sound bad to you?
Come on,
Your kids going to the school.
Be reasonable. Is that necessarily bad?
No, probably not.
Okay. Oh my God, Phil, there is some hope for you. Yeah.
I don't
think,
liberal, Phil.
Yeah, I don't think it should be in a state or a city election. I think that if they're going to have, you know, that they can participate in school board things without voting.
It should just be more of a cost onto the school instead of just having the election during the regular election time. They should have a separate election and cost more money.
Well, maybe, yeah. Yeah. Now, I'm torn on that one because is it legitimate for non-citizens to vote? No. But do they have a stake in what goes on in the schools? Yes, they do.
By the way, when's the caravan arriving?
After the election.
I just tapped my watch and it went.
It's 10:45.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you'll get some new listeners if the caravan makes it here.
If the caravan makes it here? Well, I'm just wondering when the caravan's supposed to arrive, because I want to be down there with some like little gift baskets, things like that to welcome them.
Keep these Native Americans out of our false European bordered country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think you should give them back New York. As I said earlier, you stole it from the indigenous people.
Well, California was straight up stolen from Mexico.
Well, wait a minute.
Squatting
actually,
in New York.
Phil, you're a squatter in Mexican territory.
Oh
no, I'm a renter now.
It's kind of interesting this. Because I want to know when they're going to show up. I think they're supposed to show up about right after January 1st, somewhere.
The thing that I think is funny, how they're talking about how they're coming here illegally and doing all this illegal. They're going to the U.S. border and applying for asylum. That's not illegal.
No,
stop fucking saying that's illegal.
It's not a port of entry.
What's not a port of entry? You're going to tell me that
just the border in general.
They're going to go to a port of entry and apply for asylum.
There are ports of entry.
The way they should.
That's the way they should, and that's what they're doing. That's how these kids were getting taken away from their parents, because they were going to a port. Phil, bull fucking shit. Don't fucking even.
The ones that came to a port of entry did not.
No, those are exactly the people that got separated from their kids.
Because they sat them down on a bench and they said, "We're going to take your kids to go get a shower." Maybe as a Jew you should think a little bit about that. We're taking your kids to go get a shower.
Or fake
We're taking your kids away from you and put them in a prison and put you in a separate prison. They came here legally. They were applying for asylum. They were doing what they were supposed to do, and they ripped their kids away from their parents.
I think these were the ones that were climbing over the wall.
No, it was not.
Well, can you prove it?
No, these weren't Phil. These weren't kids that were families that were climbing over the wall. These were families who were trying to come through the port of entry.
They went to a legal port of entry and applied for asylum. And during the process of applying for asylum, they ripped their kids away from them and put them in prison.
You don't look. You're looking it up, Phil, but you're going to find out you're wrong. Whatever you find is going to be fake news.
You'll find it's true.
Yeah.
We're children taken from parents that.
You're driving them crazy, Jason.
Because
but you know what? It shuts him up for a while. So go right ahead, Savage Trump. Do anything you want to do while he's trying to. He's going to find at least one thing. Everything that you want to find online to support your beliefs, you can find if you search enough. I mean, anything, even if it's wrong, you can find some article that will support it. It's probably written by the Russians, but you can find an article to support it. So,
this is not giving me what I want to hear.
What Jason says.
No. All it's saying is what is happening to the kids at the border.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a second.
What's happening to them? They're crying a lot. That's for damn sure. They can't even. They even if the law came along and said you've got to put all these kids back together with their parents, it couldn't happen because they don't know who these kids belong to.
Sure, most of those kids weren't really with their parents.
Oh, I see. Oh, is that what you're saying?
They were just being used as pawns.
Let's say what you're saying is true. In one case, is that enough to say everybody was that way?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the president the other day said he told his audience there are 20,000 people headed for the border. And they're not even close to that many. They didn't start. They started out with 5. It got up to 7,000, and now it's down to something like, I hear, 2,000.
Isn't there another caravan right behind this one?
Well, it's the Camel News Caravan.
Yeah.
Hey, and there's one thing you guys have been talking about a lot on here about with them. Why aren't they going or staying in Mexico? And people are saying it's just as dangerous in Mexico. You know, you guys got to get over all that. Mexico is not as dangerous as everybody makes it out to be. Some of these border cities where the drug trade is going on, yes, they are dangerous. The majority of Mexico is not dangerous. Like the whole entire Yucatan Peninsula, and it's actually been in the news lately because there was a ferry bombing and stuff. The crime rate in the Yucatan Peninsula is less than the state of Michigan.
The ferry bombing was the boat that went from Playa del Carmen to Cozumel.
Yeah,
and I've taken that many times, and that would be
another travelogue from
I don't
Phil.
think I would do it now. I'd be too scared to do it. But at the same time, I know the whole entire Yucatan Peninsula, the crime rate on average for the last, I don't even know how many years, is less than the state of Michigan.
So that's easy. That's easy to be less. Yeah.
So, but it's just the way that they put these fear tactics in everybody
the
about
fear
all these
thing,
other countries.
I'll
So
tell you,
much
the
worse.
thing that's bothering me is the fear tactics that Trump is doing by literally stating facts that are not true. And saying that there are 20,000 people headed this way. There never were 20,000 people headed this way.
The thing, too, about why aren't these people just going to Mexico and why are they coming to the United States? Because Mexico actually goes after the employer for hiring illegals working there. Maybe the United States should try doing that, too, and going after the employer for hiring illegals.
Yeah, if they did that here, I think if they did that here, you would probably find less people jumping over the border to come here.
E-Verify. I'm not required to use it because of the number of employees that I have.
But nobody uses E-Verify when there's a guy out in front of Home Depot and they pick him up to go mow their lawn. Okay, nobody uses E-Verify for that. And that constitutes a job. Those people, those homeowners doing that should be busted.
But, at the same time, which as maybe in my past, I know your local, we call a party store, convenience store, or bar, they'll hire people locally and they'll be under the table. They should be popped just the same as hiring an illegal immigrant. If you're not paying the taxes on your employer or your employee, you should be popped.
Well,
that's tax fraud.
There's an underground economy that I compete against because I'm a legitimate guy that has workman's compensation insurance on his employees. I withhold taxes. I do tax matching, and I treat anyone that doesn't have a license and a place of business and workers' compensation insurance the same. They are employees.
And don't you think that there should be some type of institution out there to make sure everybody's playing by the same rules? Or is that too much government regulation for you?
I think it's too much government regulation.
So
they
it's
should
too
just
much
do the
government
right
regulation to say that the business next door doing the exact same thing is a legal business and not an illegal business?
I just think people should do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I don't want to see a ton of I don't want to see a ton of regulation.
But is that regulation, Phil, to have maybe some type of institution out there to look into a business to say, are you playing by the rules or are you not?
Well,
just like a cop, are you speeding down the road or are you not?
Yeah.
Look, let's be very honest about something, Phil.
Yeah.
And let me also be something honest to the audience that next Tuesday is election night, and we'd like to do our big election night show. But if I don't get more people than this tonight, I'm not doing a show Tuesday or ever again. Okay? And I'm serious about it. Because, I do this thing, and we would like the participation of an audience, okay? And tonight we're not getting it. We didn't get it last night either, for the most part. So... there will be no show Tuesday if I don't see an improvement in the...
fuck them. You got me on here, man.
Yeah, I got you. That's good. But anyway, the point that I'm going to make, Phil...
Yeah, with him on there, why don't you just retire early?
To begin with, you will disagree with this, but I think left to their own devices, left to their own honesty, businesses will be totally dishonest.
I don't think so.
No, businesses will not do the right thing.
It's not the businesses that are the problem.
This is
It's
why
the
they need.
individuals.
This is why they need regulation.
But
It's
who
these
runs
If
businesses, Phil?
you don't have the regulations, Phil, then it isn't going to just be the individuals. They're going to be thousands of individuals doing.
There is a ton of people that are kind of like unlicensed contractors. They're contracting. They're not licensed.
No. Forget about that. Forget about that, Phil. I'm talking about business. I'm talking about business in general. No, I don't want to listen to you because I'm talking about business in
fuck
general.
you, then.
I'm not
You asked
talking.
me a
Fuck me.
question.
Fuck you.
Fuck your mother.
I can't- no, here's the point. You're going to, and I forgot what the point was going to be.
That's because you just wanted to talk over me.
No, I'm just saying business in general. I'm talking about everything from big business to small businesses. The companies are going to do everything they can to get by the cheapest way possible. They won't, if you don't let them just. You make it absolutely anarchy out there for businesses. They won't be required to have health code things,
That's the difference between you and me. I look at the positive things, and I say to myself, I think people are good.
Yes,
and I think
but that has
people will left to their own.
That has
devices,
never.
will do the right
That's
thing.
never been proven, Phil. That's why we.
But
We have.
yours
Wait a minute.
has
You know
been
why all
proven?
these laws came into being? Because there was
Because
a time.
Democrats
There
were in
wasn't.
office,
No. We go back to the times when Republicans instituted some of these things too, as well. All right. But we why did we have unions? Because there were so many of these companies that just weren't doing right by the people who work for them. To say that a business will be honest if you just let them do what they have to do and not put any regulation on them is absolutely a false assumption. They will just try and get the biggest profits they can and treat their employees like shit.
You're using a sledgehammer when a pat on the back is really what's
Oh,
needed.
yeah. These business people are really great for pats on the back. Yeah.
You got to reinforce things in a positive manner. If you just be draconian and try to regulate people into extinction, you're not going to.
Who's going to regulate people into? It isn't a matter of regulating them into extinction. It's regulating them into honesty and into doing what's right. Because unfortunately, they don't know on their own what it is to do right.
It's not the fault of the business that the end user is greedy and looks to hire these
end user.
People. Yeah, it's people like Jason. No, it's not really Jason, but it's people that pull up to the Home Depot or the 7-Eleven and
Phil,
say, "I need 4 guys, jump in."
Phil, are there plenty of businesses in your business who hire illegals?
Yeah.
So does the homeowner necessarily, when they're getting carpet put in, does the homeowner necessarily know if that installer is legally hired or illegally hired?
They can know. And the reason they can know is that my people are vetted. I pay for background checks and so forth, and I can provide documentation.
No. But that's not what he asked you.
Do I, as a shopper, want to do all this legwork?
All you have
Why
to
should
do
I
is
have to do
ask.
it?
If the guy
and the guy can lie to you.
Well, he can.
Yes, he can, and he probably will.
Why shouldn't I be able to rely on this company that I'm hiring, that as a licensed company is following by the rules? Because at the same time, if I have to do the legwork to find out that, do I have to do the legwork to find out who built the bridge I'm driving over?
Now, Jason, listen to me for a second.
Is that bridge built by illegals and it wasn't built right and it's not up to code?
Your elevator is only going up to your eyeballs. Listen to me.
Hey, I want my elevator to go up to my eyeballs safely.
Now, I do too.
By code.
So listen to me for a second, Jason. If you deal with a legitimate company that's licensed and has a workers' comp policy, chances are it's very difficult for them to hire illegals and to pay cash to these illegals. Because they're in the system, and to circumvent the system when you're doing things the right way is more difficult than to cheat. So what you're dealing with is if you have these other contractors that are really unlicensed contractors that are skirting the system, those are mainly the ones that are working in a cash society and saying, "Hey, pay me cash," and they're
Phil,
avoiding paying their taxes.
What about legal contractors who have licenses who are hiring illegals? Just like Trump has been doing in his construction projects. He's had illegals working for him.
He had 501 or 503 HB1 visa guys. But
then half of them been illegal. He's been hiring white illegals to work his construction sites. But that's all I'm saying,
now,
Phil,
it's in New York City?
Shouldn't there be something in the government going on to look and regulate this stuff to make sure that the company you're hiring is working by the rules?
No,
we shouldn't make sure companies work by the rules.
No, we should make sure that people do the right thing.
We should make sure individuals who hire a company hire the right company, but we shouldn't make sure that the company works by the rules.
Well, the company will work by the rules if they're the right company.
How do you make sure they're the right company?
Because they're licensed, they're insured, and they can provide that information.
Whose responsibility?
All I'm saying, all I think he's trying to say, Phil, is
it's the consumer's responsibility.
It is not the consumer's.
When I'm driving over a bridge, it's my responsibility to make sure that it was a regulator, licensed insured person.
There's two kinds of
contracts. So whose responsibility is it to make sure that bridge is done right?
If you shut your pie hole for 1 second.
No. If you'll shut your pie hole and listen to what he's trying to say to you, Phil.
Yeah.
Really, I'm serious, Phil. What he's trying to say to you. What he's trying to. No, this is my last night doing this show, so I want to get my licks in. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, what he's trying to say is, no, it's not the responsibility of. If he asks some carpet layer, are your people legitimate workers? Okay, and whatever, and the guy goes because he wants to sell carpet. Yeah, sure they are. Well,
then he's a liar.
Well, then he's a liar, but how do you know he's lying? What, do you have to go check on it? Do you have to go check with the board in California or whatever? No. You're just trying to hire somebody to put in a carpet. You don't think twice about that.
It's online. You can go to
CSLB.org. The person who laid the bridge is just a carpet layer with a different type of product over top of a foundation.
Let me tell you something. The person who laid the bridge, that's a government contract. Usually those are it's a special kind of payroll called a certified payroll. And all the taxes, all the stuff, everything, every employee is listed on that. And to do a certified payroll, you also have to pay
You're dreaming, Phil. You're fucking dreaming, Phil. You're thinking that a person
I do it all the time.
who hires you
for Habitat for Humanity.
No,
and my payroll has to be certified.
But the average person doesn't even know that these things exist. They don't even think to really ask, are your guys legal, because they don't know.
That was for the bridge project. For instance, if you're working on a government project, there are different requirements.
Look, I will agree that a government project probably would require legal workers working on that bridge. But what I'm talking about, but we're talking about services that Jason might use or I might use. If I had somebody put carpet in this apartment, if I had somebody put carpet in this apartment, I'm not going to ask them, are these guys legal or not? Hey, there are guys living in the fucking basement of this building who then during the day work tearing down and renovating the apartments, they call it. I call it destroying the apartments. They call it renovation. And they're very bad at it, by the way, and they're all illegals. All right? Do you think that I asked that question of the landlord, hey, are these guys legal or doing all this renovation? No, that's the job of the city to do that. But no, that would be imposing upon them too many government regulations.
Call the contractor's license board and say there seems to be some illegal activity, construction activity taking place in the building.
Suppose the landlords haven't signed any deal with the carpenters union or whatever, and they don't give a shit. They
come out. The contractor's license board will come out, and they'll they'll issue citations. They have powers of
and
of
so
arrest.
okay, and so you get a little slap on the fucking wrist, and the fine is a small enough fine that you figure that's the cost of doing business.
Hey, Phil, here's another question, too. Do you think you find more illegals in union jobs or non-union jobs?
Non-union.
Thanks.
Okay, you just made a case for the unions.
Well, you know, the unions are legitimate employers.
Hey, Phil, do you think that regulations should be set at a federal level or at a local job level?
Local job level.
There's another argument for unions. You know,
how is that an argument for unions?
Yeah. Do you use union workers, by the way, at all?
Are the ones who set the rules
occasionally?
For the job. Republicans should actually be so.
Wait a minute. What do you mean occasionally, Phil?
So crazy.
You can't occasionally do it. You either hire union workers or you don't.
I hire a subcontractor that's a union shop.
Oh, okay.
And so this subcontractor has a union agreement, and so if I'm bidding on a union job, I have them provide the labor.
What kind of a job do they do for you? Pretty good job or pretty shitty?
Well, these are people that I've known for 35 years.
And so they do a good job, right?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that in California the unions are very weak, and there's only a few places that require union labor, like Moscone Center and a few other places in the city. So it's very difficult if you're going to use union labor all the time to compete against non-union shops, unless it's a requirement.
Yeah, but those are and if they're all he's saying is that if unions give you people that are legals, and the non-union shops give you the people who aren't legal.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
Not necessarily.
You can't say that the non-union
not necessarily is the operative word
but
here.
You can't say that the union shop is hiring illegals.
No, I don't think that they are. But on the other hand, you can't condemn the non-union shops just because they're not union. And I personally can only speak for myself, but would not hire someone that was not legitimate. It's fraud, and I don't do that. You know. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not going to accept somebody's card that says their name is Jackie Schwartz, and they just got off the turnip truck.
Let me show you what I'm talking about when I talk about companies. Okay, there is a company that we all know whose motto when they first started was "Do no harm." You know what company that was?
Do no harm.
Do no harm. It was literally. You've heard the saying,
medical.
Right? No, it's not medical. No. A company that when they opened the doors, one of their main mottos was "Do no harm."
I know that saying. Who is it?
Google.
Huh.
Google right now is having people walk out on strike because of terrible wages and because of the way women are treated within the company. And the terrible wages are they're paying the equivalent of $30,000 a year, which now, in this day and age, is kind of poverty level.
How come Google employees in San Francisco are the only ones that can afford houses and apartments?
Because those are the upper echelon people at Google. That is not the average worker at Google.
You don't hear about the janitor at Google.
You don't hear about the janitor. You don't hear about the average grunt sitting there in customer
you mean the
support.
Guy, when it went public, who
it's
became
a
a
known
millionaire
fact
overnight?
that they pay an average of $30,000 a year.
Well, so does Costco.
Wait a minute. They start you at 35, okay? Wait a minute.
And that's in Kentucky, not San Francisco.
Right.
The Google employees that walked out in London. They walked out
in New York, where they were getting paid $30,000 a year. Who can live in New York on $30,000 a year?
Well, that's what Sirius pays.
That's exactly right. Another corporation who is like on the cheap because they don't have unions in there.
And that's why Alex lives in Harlem.
Yeah, but you don't have to work for Google. You know?
No, you don't have to work for Google, but you got to work for somebody. And Google, being a big company, sets the tone for everybody else.
Well, I wish I could get somebody to work for me for $30,000 a year, but I can't do it.
Yeah, well, all I'm saying,
don't take those jobs.
Yeah, well, all I'm saying is that here in New York, hey, you want a job? Google's got them, and it's $30,000 a year. You take it. You know, they're walking out now, and they're making Google look bad. Now this is what happens when a corporation said do no harm, was considered a great corporation. It suddenly turns out to be a shitty corporation.
But see, that's why Phil votes Republican, because he wants people to work for him for $30,000 a year.
That's not true. I want people to work for a fair wage, and I want the customer to pay a fair price for the products and services that they're getting. And if there has to be a meeting of the minds. If you got a customer that doesn't want to pay anything, you got installers that want to get paid a fair wage. Sometimes I just can't do business with some people because there's no meeting of the minds. And you got to be able to say I can't do every job. If that job isn't right for me. I had a guy the other day. Made an appointment. I went over there to measure. He didn't show up. I waited. It was Halloween evening, and so I waited 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Finally, the babysitter.
Oh, excuse me. Tom Yamaguchi just corrected me. The Google motto was "Don't be evil." That was the motto. Same thing. Pretty much. It's a little more than do no harm. Do no evil. Don't be evil, and they're being evil.
See no evil.
They're being evil.
Here.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it.
I don't know that they're being evil. Google, their employees, for instance, said that they didn't want them working on certain government military projects, and Google, and I don't think to their credit, but to the credit of the employees, they listened to them and they pulled out of those government contracts. To develop certain kinds of products that they use in war. So is it that Google doesn't listen to their employees? I don't think that's true. Now, what's happening with this walkout was that they're saying that there was some executives that got a golden umbrella and
it's called a golden parachute, Phil.
Parachute, or parasol, depending if it's a woman. And so these guys got paid a significant amount of money, and they were complained against.
This isn't all they're complaining about, Phil.
Well, this
wasn't the main deal. No. The main deal was, number one, the inequality of paychecks to women as opposed to men in that company. There was also an argument over the way in which women are treated in that company, and there was just the lousiness of the wages there that a lot of people walked out on.
I think it was. You may be right about.
No, I am right. I am right, Phil.
No, don't take credit so fast. But from what I understand, there were some high-level executives that were not disciplined. But how is not being disciplined being fired? But they were given a golden parachute.
Well, because they had that in their contract. I mean, people were using that as an argument, okay, as an argument for why the thing is, why it's just using an example of, hey, here's a guy who did something terrible to some woman or something. He got fired by the company, but he got a golden parachute for it. Well, the trouble is the golden parachute was written into his contract, and they couldn't let him go without paying him that golden parachute. All right. So in that respect, that's not Google's fault. So I'll argue on the side of Google that they had to pay that out. But their argument is, why give out these golden parachutes at all?
They did, and it was before the alleged crime or alleged incident happened.
No, but why give out golden parachutes at all? Why should you?
Because they can.
Well, if
because that's what you need to present to somebody who's going to be a higher up in order to retain them.
Then you just say, sorry, we can't take you. If you want a golden parachute, go somewhere else. We don't have golden parachutes here.
That's a problem. If somebody else would,
we have your golden parachute is don't treat people badly, and you'll probably be here for the rest of your life.
Right. That's the way I do it. You know, there's a book called The Four Agreements, and I have found that if I follow those 4 agreements, it's okay. You don't have a lot of problems, and you just do the right thing.
Yeah.
And
we've been joined by Patrick, by the way. Hello, Patrick. How are you? This makes us 3 people now. This is marginally making me maybe come back to work on Tuesday.
Well, it's 3 people and an announcer.
Yeah.
Well, I listened to the show last night.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to call in because I was on the phone with my mother, and her best friend niece died after having her tongue removed. She had cancer of the tongue, had it removed.
Well, I was going to say your cousin wasn't Whitey Bulger, was it?
Well, that was the really weird thing when I heard about that. But now, so she had her tongue cut out, and then they just found cancer in her lungs and in her throat, and she was in hospice for 2 days and died.
My condolences.
Wow.
Was she, how old was she?
I also hear that Tony's mother is not well, by the way.
Yeah.
I hear that. Not from Tony, but through other sources. So we wish his mother all the best. Okay.
Yeah. Even after I blocked Tony.
Even after you blocked him.
Damn, such an asshole. His mom's dying and you
blocked him? What?
He sends me pictures of cereal boxes.
I know, and I unblocked him the other day.
At least it's not serial killers.
I unblocked him the other day, but he hasn't noticed yet, so don't tell him.
No, he actually said something. He says, I sent Alex, one of his last texts to me was, I sent Alex something and it went through.
Yeah. Yes, Tony, Patrick.
Tony.
I suggested to Tony that instead of sending 2 and 3 word sentences that are, like a machine gun coming off.
Yes.
Like a stream of consciousness texting. Just consider everything you want to say, put it in one text. If it takes you 20 minutes to type it out, and then we read it. Because that's what I do. I just put him on mute for like an hour, let all of the shit come by, and then I'll check it, and there it is. It's a paragraph, and then it makes sense. It's not...
You don't always get the choice of mute, but it is like a machine gun.
By the way, I'm wondering where Brian is tonight, because I had a big argument with him last night about whether syphilis started in Europe or not.
No, it started in
syphilis
Pittsburgh.
started in the Americas.
No, it didn't. I looked it up.
Syphilis, I believe, was actually one of the diseases that the people on the Columbus trip actually got in the Americas.
Well, it may be, but syphilis already existed in Europe before they took off on that trip. Yes, I looked it up.
Alex, if you listen to Jason, if you listen to Alex's first half hour, this was part of the things that he talked about, was that he was so proud that he had found that he was right when it came to the American Indian.
The proudest thing that I did this week, and I kind of resent it, is I got your microphone going again.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, I kind of liked it the other way, where you're kind of limited and you didn't talk as much. But now you got your mic back, and it's like a weapon.
Well, you need me tonight.
Yeah.
Well, remember, Alex, you've got...
so, Brian, you can call. What?
You got Jeff. He's overseas on vacation.
Right.
So, I mean, there's one that would normally call.
What about Renee, man? She's just being a bitch and not calling anymore?
No,
she calls.
That's the time difference, I think.
No, she's on. She does the chat. She does the chat here.
Calling in to.
But Jack is later. She's 5 hours from the. Or 3 hours from.
Anyway, no, if she's on the chat, she could call. Yeah. So,
And I mean a bitch in a good way, Renee.
Might have been a bad hair day. Who knows?
That was me.
Yeah.
Came on late because I had to fix my hair.
Yeah,
Trump said he had a bad hair day the other day. So.
Yeah.
So, but hey, sorry to go to my point. So
the bad hair day for him is that it got in the way of a propeller and shifted continents. Yes. What were you saying?
I'm saying, so syphilis didn't come from the Americas?
No, it was here. The Indians had it. Okay.
The Indians had it, or the Native Americans?
Well, the Native Americans had it. I don't know when they started to get it or where it came from, but they had it. But in Europe, syphilis was started in about 1490, and it came from the French. Brought it in to a lot of the countries there. Yeah.
Did Napoleon or I know a number of
this
those,
is 1490s, not Napoleon.
Well,
no. But there was a number of people in Europe that had syphilis.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it was
including Hitler.
Yeah, and it was actually the travelers to the New World who brought syphilis, but did not necessarily give it to the Indians. Okay, that the Indians may have gotten it on their own. Could have been they came across the Bering Strait and it came with that. You know, you don't know, but there are a lot of hypotheses about that. But that it was existent. That was the
one thing I thought, that the natives gave to the Europeans was syphilis, and then the Europeans gave smallpox and everything else.
Brian must not be listening tonight, because if he were, I think he'd be calling just lickety split.
For spite.
Lickety split. Yeah. You know, all I'm saying is that, oh, well, here comes Kevin. Here comes Kevin. I guess I can't quit doing this. Damn it. I was looking forward to being so mad that I wouldn't do a show next week. Son of a bitch.
Why would you mad?
Because it's the lack of participation lately. You know, the kind of, although the other night I did have 10 people.
And
I had a couple of slow days. I'm going to quit.
I know Kevin was at the football game last night.
Yeah.
Because he posted about it.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, Jeff is gone. So there's 2 people that are regulars.
Yeah.
And Ray's got to play.
I mean, think about it. That you would have 6 here just automatically. So don't get all in a snit over this shit.
Well,
I mean,
he wants new people. You know, we're.
Well, I would like some new people to call too. That would be nice.
So that's why I only call in once every other week. So I'm kind of new.
No, you won't. You don't call. You don't call, but once every other week, because you're pussy whipped.
I'd like to see some of the people call that used to call, like Charlie and this guy Rick. You know, there was some really nice people that used to call.
Yeah, so we'd like to get the nice people here, so we don't have to talk to Phil.
Yeah, really.
You know, I mean,
doing his own thing. I mean, he moved to, I think it was Arizona.
Who?
From Texas.
Charlie.
Charlie Wallace.
Yeah.
Yeah, he moved, and he had some back problems and things like that, in addition to the diet. You know, remember he had all those,
diabetes.
Yeah. So I mean, he's around, but he's in a new relationship. Well, it's not new anymore. It's about a year, but so I'm sure he's got his own thing. That
well, his whole life probably.
I beat cancer in 2 heart operations, and I still call. You know.
Somebody just said here, I will call. Give me the number to call. Go over to gabnet.net.
Okay, nah, wait a minute. Call 347-352-0079.
See, if you had a jingle, 347-352-0079, motherfucker. Maybe people would remember it.
Yeah.
Oh God, that
sounds like that.
That's severe.
You know, the commercial for the what is it? Sofa beds that you know they used to do. 347-352-0079.
Yeah.
Or do it to the jingle of that annoying Cars for Kids.
Oh
yeah. Why don't you have Rob make the jingle?
Wouldn't you? You know, I tell you, I'm not a violent person, but if I had a machine gun, the first thing I would do is find those kids. Right.
Just go to the Jewish camp over there in New York, because that's what the whole entire thing was going for, was for Jewish kids to go to camp. Let me ask you this
about the Cars for Kids. Is this a national thing?
No, it's a national thing.
There's a Cars for Kids in my area. Yeah, and the guy actually bought flooring from me, and I didn't realize that it was a national thing. I thought it was just local.
Yeah, supposedly what happens is they take your car off your hands. What? Yeah, they take your car off your hands, and then you can use the tax deduction,
right,
for it. But
And
supposedly,
then they sell it to the junkyard.
yeah, that's
for
what I heard.
$600.
They sell it as a junker to the junkyards and make money that way, and that's been the big bugaboo about that. Where are you going, Jason? He's like
Going to make a drink. Sorry.
oh, he's going to make a drink. And he's taking his whole computer with him. He's walking us through the house. We've never seen any other part of the house but that room. And we're not seeing it now either because there's no light in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
What-
You
what's
see my
that,
garage. You see my fireplace.
Oh,
Jason,
there you are. There
What's
we
that?
go.
What's that plywood on the windows and all of those sneakers hanging on the
The
power
telephone
lines?
lines.
Yeah.
A security system in Detroit.
What?
Yeah, really.
What is? Yeah. Yeah, I remember you did call us once from your garage because Rob was in his garage, and so we saw 2 cars and 2 guys.
I miss having a garage.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was it was very convenient. Now, right now, I have a storage space where I store my motorcycle and my scuba gear and all of that stuff, and I haven't touched the motorcycle in a year and a half.
Yeah. So anyway, what do you think is going to happen in Texas with Ted Cruz?
He'll win.
I don't think he will. I have a funny feeling that he's gonna go.
You know,
I think the
What's
polls are showing
Beto's-
that he's going to win.
huh?
Yeah, what's Beto's real name?
I think
I
that's
would
his.
say I think the polls are
Robert
showing that he is going to win.
Francis
No.
O'Rourke.
Well, then Beto might have been a nickname, so he uses it.
It is it's a nickname, but I
Yeah.
think he was pandering to the Latin
No,
voter.
no, he wasn't. Oh, with a
Oh,
name
and
like
Jason's shaking.
wait a minute, with a
Beto?
name like
I
O'Rourke.
agree. Yes, he's pandering to the Hispanic vote.
I think he is. Yeah.
They had a picture of him looking at a statue of what's her name? Who was that dead singer? Selena? Or,
Celine
Frida?
Dion.
huh?
Oh,
Selena or Frida?
No, Selena. Well, who was the one who died? Got shot.
She
was she killed?
Yeah, she was killed. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a statue of her, and there's a picture they took of him standing in not in front of it, but in back of it, looking at it with a sort of plaintive look. So I guess that was trying to appeal to the.
Did you see that statue that they just erected in India? That I think they spent several $1 million. It might have been in the 400 million.
400 million.
Yeah, and it's very tall. It's about the height of a building.
And who is it of?
I'm not sure. The guy wasn't wearing shoes though. Do you know who it is? Who it was, Jason? The statue?
It was one of their founding. The guy was around during the same time that what's his name? The guy who went on the starvation thing. Gandhi. He was around during the same time Gandhi was, and I think he belonged to the same party too or something. But he's not as well known. But it's twice the size of the Statue of Liberty.
Wow. Is it bronze?
I don't know. I just saw a little statue thing of it, and it's the largest sculpture in the world now. There was some type of Buddhist thing in China that was bigger than the Statue of Liberty, and this is even bigger than that.
I think there's a good shot that Beto O'Rourke will beat Ted Cruz. It's going to be a tight race.
The only way he's going to beat Ted Cruz is in the middle of the night. He hits him over the head with a stick.
Yeah, well,
that's the only way he's going to beat.
Yeah, but absent that joke, I think Beto O'Rourke's going to win because I think they're going to be people coming out who don't normally come out to vote.
I think the polls were showing that it was basically in a dead heat.
I would love to see Ted Cruz gone
ahead.
because I find Ted Cruz absolutely off-putting as a human being. He's just he reminds me of McCarthy.
And if Trump gets his way with his natural-born citizenship, Ted Cruz will be an illegal. Patrick has his hand.
Yes, Patrick.
I think Cruz will win. It'll be very slim, but Beto O'Rourke has a bright future in Texas. Yeah. And I think even if he loses this is not the end for him. This is merely him getting his feet wet in a big election. And I think if he were to go for a lesser office, whatever that might be in 2 years, and then he may challenge Cruz again if Cruz runs. I think there's a better shot then. I don't think he's as well known as people think. Even though we hear about him nationally,
Yeah.
it's just like in my state, there are people that haven't heard of certain people that are real big in my area. But, you know,
Your state's kind of a toss-up, isn't it, for governor?
it's a dead heat.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with that, is I think Walker's going to win again. This is his last term anyway. I think he'll win. He'll squeak it out. And then the Democrats are going to come up with somebody better next time. I mean, this is kind of this is who we have left on a platter guy for the Democrats, which is, I mean, I'm happy about it because I don't like the guy, but it's like they didn't put any effort into finding a good candidate that would appeal across. My parents, my mother who lost her job because of Scott Walker, voted for Scott Walker because the guy that's running against him is so off-putting, even to her, that she voted for the guy who put her out of work. So
I'm looking at the polls on the Cruz O'Rourke campaign. RCP average has a Cruz plus 6.5.
I never heard of them.
Okay, Quinnipiac,
Quinnipiac.
Yeah. Okay, has a Cruz plus 5. The Texas Tribune has it Cruz plus 6. CNN has it Cruz plus 7, and the New York Times has it Cruz plus 8.
So, and that's what I've been hearing is Cruz plus 6. But the only thing though is how are they doing these polls? Are they still by landline telephones? And if that's the case, then they're not really that honest. But that's what I've been hearing.
It isn't a question of question of honest, by the way.
Not honest, but how true is it?
Accurate. Whether their polling isn't an ancient polling as opposed to a more modern polling. Yeah. And what you're quite right. One of the problems is that they, for a while, were calling, landlines.
Send out a text message and ask.
Send out a text message or call cell phones. Because, I got to tell you, the only reason I have a landline is because I've got a cable company that just gave it to me, which I never use it. But if I didn't, it's VoIP line. It's a VoIP. Yeah. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't care. My cell phone is the phone that I get all the calls on. Most people, that's the way they get their calls now, except for old people. Old people still got that old, dial phone, going for them. Yes, Patrick, and then hi, Ray.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. What were you saying, Patrick?
With polling, I think the inaccuracy comes from, and this is what I think happened with Trump, because I had heard this from a few different sources. If you are talking to an individual, and this is what happened in 2016, nobody wanted to admit that they were going to vote for Trump. And so they would give a false...
I did.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, but the accurate polling was where it was no person, and it was just a recording, and you type in a number, are you voting for so-and-so? Then people are more likely to be honest because nobody wanted to get hit with that stink or admit that they were going to vote for Trump. And I think that's the case with most polling, that if you can do it without talking to a person, and me personally, I don't even answer polls. If I get these text messages, and I'll send one back and I say something like, so last night when you went down on me in the elevator, this is all I'm good for? And I'll do it completely different than what they're asking, just to get off their list. Don't bother me. I don't want to be polled.
But Patrick, on the other hand, they're trying to gather data, and if I have the time, I'll answer the poll.
Yeah, but that's you, Phil. That's you.
Yeah, me too. I don't give a shit.
And also the there are people like Rasmussen who are totally unreliable. And the reason they're unreliable is because they're biased. And how they're biased is the way in which they ask the question. You know, there's several ways you can ask the question. Some of them are biased and some of them are not biased. And you have to know what question are they exactly asking these people, and how are they asking them? And you're right, are they going for cell phones as well? You know, because if they're going for cell phones, I think that's the majority of phone. It's cute dog. Wow.
He ate the food in front of the dog. The dog is saying, "Where's mine?"
Yeah.
And he says it was right there.
The dog always wants a percentage. Did I tell you about Jack's cat? Did I tell you about Jack's cat?
No.
Most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm over visiting my friend Jack Garfine.
Oh, that Jack.
Yeah, Jack Garfine.
Took a piss and shut the door for himself.
Yes. Yeah. She goes in and she opens the door to the bathroom. And I said, "Oh, that's very bright." And she walks in. Now I'm talking to Jack again. And the next time I look over, the door is closed.
Hey, Alex.
And I hear the cat scratching in her box. And she's taking a dump. And then when she's through taking a dump, she opens the door, and I believe she closed it behind her. Now,
I got actually swings shut.
No, that wasn't it. I mentioned it to Jack, and he says, "Oh, she does that all the time." She obviously watched Natalia go to the bathroom and saw that Natalia opened the door, and then she closed the door behind her when she was in there. And so the cat starts doing that. That's how I had one of my cats start peeing in the toilet. She watched my wife every night. She sat there staring at her, like, you know, trying to figure the whole thing out and the trajectory and all that, you know. And all of a sudden, one night, I'm lying in bed, and I hear somebody pissing in the toilet, and I look over to see if my wife's there, and she's there, and I'm going, "Who the hell's pissing in the toilet?" And I
saw that cat mouse piss in the toilet.
Yeah, you saw it. So it's true, right?
It was amazing. I've never seen, and that mouse was blind.
Yeah, at that point. But before that, that's the only place she'd ever go. Now, some people would say, "Well, does she shit in the toilet?" And I go, "Come on, you can't have everything." Okay.
I went swimming in your pool once, and I took a shower at your apartment, and there was shit in the shower.
Oh well, this was another story. That was Shabbos, my cat Shabbos, who died in California. Shabbos.
But see, I can even say that I knew you, Alex, too, and I knew your cat would shit in the shower, and it would actually sit there and claw.
No, not in the shower.
Like
not in the shower. No. It wasn't in the
No.
shower, Phil. It was in the bathtub.
Bathtub. Well,
Bathtub.
shower.
I had
bathtub.
this
You only
cat
had
Shabbos.
You only had one bathroom in Sausalito.
And we got him from this woman who wanted to get rid of Shabbos, so we took the cat. It had a different name at the time. I don't know, Bowser or something. I don't know what his name was. We named him Shabbos because we got him on a Saturday. And he would shit in the bathtub. And we go, "Bad cat, do not shit in the bathtub," right? And he would keep shitting in the bathtub. So finally, we met up with this woman again, and she says, "So is there anything unusual about the cat?" And we said, "Well, nothing unusual. He's wonderful. That's what's unusual about him. He's a lovely cat." She says, "Does he shit in the bathtub?" And I went, "Oh, that. Well, we just clean it up." You know, the only thing about Shabbos was that he lived to be 18 years old, and every time he would shit in the bathtub, he would try and dig up the porcelain. You know, he would do that whole thing about trying to dig it under.
I never saw that.
But to his credit, he peed over the drain in the bathtub. All right?
You know, Shabbos.
And we would know when he was going, too, because you could hear it all over the house. Could you hear clunk, clunk, clunk into the bathtub?
When you had two cats, I never saw Shabbos walking around the house. I always saw a mouse, but I never saw Shabbos. Was that cat a hider?
No, well, he died. I think he died maybe before I knew you. He died when we first came out to California.
You knew me because he used to shit in the bathtub.
Oh yeah, okay. Then he was alive. Yeah. No, Shabbos was around. Shabbos was very cool. He was just a cool cat. I could take him, put him in my arms, and walk him across 14th Street in New York City, and he wouldn't even like grab onto me. You know, he just kind of look around like, "Hey, so this is what it's like out here, huh? Cool." He was just on some levels, he was a very zen cat. On other levels, he was completely unstrung. And where he was unstrung is you could take an emery board and scratch it, or take a rubber band, put it between your fingers and go twang, 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 and he would start gagging.
Really?
Yeah. He would start gagging and throwing them.
I have a customer that actually has a cat that he walks on a it has a collar and a leash, and they walk him. They take him everywhere.
Yeah. Well,
Is it a savanna?
Well, yeah, usually
not sure.
savannas. They walk. Ronnie had a savanna. And savannas, a lot of people have savannas because they're big cats. Walk them on a leash. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
usually have a Havana, but not a Savannah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll look them up. I'll see what kind of cat it is.
Yeah. Savannas are beautiful, by the way. Great, beautiful cats. But anyway. So what's new, Kevin? Anything new with your life?
Yeah, a lot of stuff was going on.
Like what?
I lost a good friend the other day, about 3 or 4 or 5 days ago. Actually, about a week ago.
Is that the one you did the ALS walk for?
No, it was my other friend from childhood. We used to trade paper routes, and he passed away.
Turn up your mic a little bit. Turn up your mic a little bit.
Oh, it's probably just because I'm too far away.
Yeah,
from
you're
it.
too far. There we go. That's better. What
and other than that, just been
what did he
election stuff.
How old was he?
He was my age, 61 years old.
Really? And
3 months older than I am.
And what did he die of?
He's pretty messed up. He'd gone in for he had Kaiser. He had Kaiser. I called it.
Well, as we like to know,
suicide.
doctor-assisted suicide.
Kaiser assisted. He had a pacemaker. He had been rebuilt on the guts about, I don't know, 7 or 8 times. He went in for gallstones at one point about 25 years ago, to get him blasted out, and they apparently blasted a few other things. And he ended up in the hospital for like 6 or 8 months, and ever since then he was in and out all the time. Ended up with pacemakers. He died on the table like 7 or 8 times, he told me. But it was one of those deals where we had, we were friends when we were kids. We lived down the street from each other, and we lost touch of each other.
It's especially hard when it's somebody you grew up with as a kid.
Yeah. And then, we lost touch with each other, but still always kept in touch. And then the last, 15, 20 years, what kind of cat is that?
That's a Savannah.
I don't know.
That's a Savannah.
Oh, okay. That's
Looks
the
like
cat.
Big enough for one,
That's his wife, but that's the cat.
They're huge cats. They're huge.
But
Yeah,
over the last
walks
15, 20 years, I got, we kind of hooked up again. And
Yeah.
so it was pretty bad because I talked to him the 2 days before he passed.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of people in my life die. I found out a program director that I once had here in New York City died about a week ago. I didn't like the guy, but that doesn't matter. It's somebody you know and it's somebody you worked with, and you don't wish that kind of thing on anybody. But quit showing the pictures. See, there's a Savannah with a leash.
Cat on a leash.
On a leash.
We're talking about dead people.
We're talking about dead
That's
people now, Phil.
disrespectful.
We've changed the subject.
You just keep bringing up pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello there, Ray. We really got to talk to Ray.
Hey.
What's happening with
Can you hear me okay? I dropped my mic.
Oh, your mic's fine.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
I love this Rode mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a road also.
Yeah, I can be like Al. This one, what is it called when you can be far away?
Yeah,
you don't have to be right up
see
on
this?
it.
This is road.
Dynamic.
This is road rash.
Yeah, I like it.
Right here, road rash. I have road rash.
Yeah, that's what I need is I need a dynamic mic. This one's kind of, you got to be right on it.
Yeah, my other one's
Let's
like
they
that.
call it.
The other
Yeah.
one is called cardioid.
A
Cardioid.
cardioid.
That's what this
a cardioid.
is. Yeah.
It's a heart-shaped
This one-
pattern.
This
It's
one
a
can be
Heart-shaped
either.
pattern.
Well, no, you can turn it and make it more directional. Like I make this one directional as opposed to cardioid, because cardioid would go out like this. So let's say I had the air conditioner on, you'd hear it more. But a directional, I have to talk directly into it, because if I get off to the side, you lose me. So anyway,
If I talk over here, you can't hear it. But if I talk over here, you
so
can.
I'd ask you what's happening in your neighborhood with the elections, but it's the same thing that's happening in Phil's neck of the woods and in Kevin's neck of the woods.
Oh, here in California?
Yeah. What's the most hotly contested race in California right now?
John Cox and Gavin Newsom, I would think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hear Newsom's kind of a shoe-in.
Probably.
Probably, but you never know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of down Orange County, and there's a lot of Republican voters down there.
Yeah, but if he
Orange County is in contention that
Yes.
there may be a Democrat beating the Republican in Orange County.
Oh,
let me.
I guess I'm wrong.
and then you got that, but the thing with Gavin Newsom, I heard that he was out front. Is that what you hear?
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
He is.
I think he's going to win.
Because
Oh, yeah,
I
he's
think
up
if
front.
Gavin Newsom wins for governor and becomes governor of California, I think you can look for him running for president in a couple of years.
Absolutely.
You know.
He almost ran for president last time, but they ran the numbers and they knew he couldn't win, so he didn't do it.
But you know who is going to make I'm sure will make a run for the president, but first he's got to win for governor in Florida. Is this guy Gillum? And he's a good-looking guy. I mean, this guy's got charisma. He's got everything going for him.
Yeah, they're saying that this Orange County congressional race, Democrats must win to flip the House, and it says that the Democrats look strong in this race. I'm looking for their names.
Yeah, and then there's that woman that what's her name in Georgia, who's running for governor. That Oprah came
Adams,
out for.
Stacey Adams or something.
Stacey, not Adams, something
Here,
else.
let's
Amy
see if
Adams.
I can find
I think
which
it's
one
Adams.
it is.
Well,
It's all election shit.
oh, really?
Yeah, I just keep putting it into a big pile.
Wow.
Between the locals and all the state crap.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is Phil lives near me, but he lives in a really red area.
No,
And I live
Walnut
in
Creek.
really-
Surprise!
No,
Oh,
And
it's-
Orinda, it's not.
No,
It's
no.
blue.
Well, I'm in Walnut Creek, but we have Barbara Lee and all of those kinds of people representing us.
But isn't that because of Oakland?
Yeah, probably, but or in Berkeley, but there's nobody is red in this area.
We're right
Oh,
down
okay.
here.
Yeah.
I
We are
guess,
down here.
Things
Yeah.
have changed. Things have changed.
It's funny that red is also the term they use for communists, but I don't understand that one.
Oh yeah, Hollister's red,
It-
definitely.
yeah.
We got a bunch of farmer Okies down here.
And my my aunt and uncle were red, but not they weren't Republicans. Yes, Patrick.
Kevin, how much of that shit do you get a day?
Oh, at least 5 or 6 of them a day.
I
Okay.
throw them out.
'Cause that's been what I've been getting the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks. It hasn't been a long stretch, but it's the last 2 or 3 weeks. My shredder had been getting a hell of a workout every day for me.
Well-
I'm waiting for the motor to fucking burn out.
I'll tell you what, and I've learned this because I'm working for a campaign down here for one of the measures, and I've learned the strategies that these guys use. And what they're doing is the last week they start pounding you, and they don't care because they believe that mailing is the biggest thing to the most effective way to get to people, even if it's just 30 seconds and into the shredder. It's the most effective way to get somebody into somebody's head.
Because all you have to do is see the name.
Yep.
Yep.
And they do the name real big, and you look at it, and you shove it in the shredder. And that's all they
Yeah,
care
here's
about.
one. This guy's school board.
Yep.
This is the
Marshall Tuck.
Republican
I
voter
bet
guy.
as Marshall Tuck was growing up, he didn't have fun in high school with that name.
No.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
he had a fight. He had a fight.
You know the one who I think must have had a horrible time in school.
Yeah.
Is a reporter over at MSNBC called Casey Hunt.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many
Remember I
people.
sent you that one where they screwed up?
Well, no, but I wonder how many people have just referred to her. Hey, Hasey.
Cunt.
Hey, when I was a kid growing up, I used to get off the bus and I'd walk down from the bus to my house, and there was a mailbox, and the guy's name was Fugger, Fugger. Now that's a guy that had a fight.
Oh yeah,
I used
no.
to go to school with a guy named Mike Cunt. Mike
Hunt. Well, you know, that was a name. I got to
I
tell
did
you,
too.
for years, that was a very famous name. And I'll tell you where. In the porn industry. Because a lot of guys, you know how when in regular movies, what was the name they used to use in regular movies when they didn't want their name to be known because they didn't want to take responsibility for it?
Benjamin Dover.
No. Hold on a second. It was
Dick something.
No, I'm trying to remember now.
Dick Smalley.
No, but
Dick Scrapper.
Anyway, this is the name that guys used because they didn't want anybody.
I know it was Alex Bennett.
No, you know what it was? It was B set me off. It starts with a B. I'll think about it.
Bennett Schwarzman.
I'll get it in a second. But anyway, porn films, you'd always see the credit Mike Hunt. Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, I used to get pissed. He'd say, "Call me Michael."
Yes, Patrick.
When I was in grade school, we were learning the various.
Alan Smithy. Hold on a second. I just remembered the name. Alan Smithy. If you ever see that as a credit in movies, it's because for years the SAG would say, or the DGA would say, you could only use that name if you didn't want to give your real name as the director. But they did away with that a few years back. But David Lynch used the name Alan Smithy on what was that sci-fi movie he made? Oh God, I'm trying to think. It was very famous.
Blue.
You know what? No, you know I'm talking. The science.
Yes.
The sci-fi film where they had the worms and stuff and all of that.
Dune.
Dune.
No.
Dune. On Dune. On the television version of Dune, he put in the name Alan Smithy.
That was an awesome movie.
Yeah.
Love it.
Anyway,
So
go ahead.
the
Anyway.
the
No, wait a
Orange
minute.
County
Patrick was talking, so let me let him finish. I interrupted him rudely.
When we were in grade school, we were learning the title Mr., Mrs., and then we learned about the term master for young men. You know, when you address them.
Yes.
Slave owners.
The problem is one of the kids in my class, his last name was
Bader.
Bates.
Basting.
Oh, Basting.
Yeah. So, of course, all through grade school and high school, we always
Master Basting.
As master?
Yeah.
Yeah. Master basting, though, there is no such word as master basting, although that would be something you would do if you were very good at making a chicken and basting it.
Yeah.
Well, to a cleaner topic, California's 48th district, which is Orange County, it's Dana Rohrabacher versus Harley Ruda. And Rohrabacher, wasn't he accused of some sort of impropriety?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But he's the Republican.
If he was a Republican, he probably was, yes.
Yeah. No, but there was something that went on. I'll figure it out.
Well, I'm going to remind you of what Chuck Lorre wrote as a vanity card this week, and I put it up on my Facebook page, and I took it down after a while. And it's very simple, and it's a lovely statement. Love is forever. Wait a minute. Love like there's no tomorrow and vote like there is. That was what it was.
I shared that, and I think at least 3 or 4 of my friends have shared it also.
Yeah, it's a very good.
It's going viral.
Yeah, it's a great statement. Just a great statement. And that's really what it's all about. I mean, I don't care if you're to the left or to the right. This is a very important election for each and every American. And I hope you vote wisely and you don't listen to fear-mongering and you don't listen to fear-mongering. You know what I think it should happen? Everybody in America should make it their business to never vote for anybody who runs negative ads. And Marjorie was saying to me tonight that in some country like France or whatever, it is actually against the law to run negative ads. All you can run are ads where you promote yourself and talk about what you're going to do and what your merits are. Yes, Jason.
So in Michigan, they're running these ads of I know that there were some protests and stuff where there were some individuals who were smashing windows and rioting. and then they're sitting there and putting another person who's running for office and saying they are one of them. Is that not wrong?
Of course it's wrong. And I wouldn't vote for anybody that runs a negative ad. Of course, then I probably wouldn't be able to vote for anyone.
Sit there and say that, these people are rioting and smashing property and, doing this, and this person is one of them.
Have you seen this Willie Horton-esque ad that Republicans are running about this Hispanic guy in a courtroom going, "I'm glad I murdered the people," and blah, 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 and they say, "The Democrats let this man into the country."
I saw that.
And if you were to actually find out more about it, because it's, what's his name, Pryor or whatever his name is from Arizona, he actually let this guy go.
Oh, really? What was he, a Democrat or Republican?
No, Republican. This big fucking racist guy in Arizona. Who the hell is it?
Yeah, but I mean, this ad is now being assailed for being absolutely racist. Absolutely racist. Have you seen it, Phil?
No.
Huh. Okay. What are you looking up?
They wouldn't. I was just reading about Rohrabacher.
Yeah.
I can't find anything negative on the guy.
Yeah.
Other than they say that he had ties to Putin.
Oh, okay. Well, that's bad enough.
Yeah.
So, Ray, what's your take on what's going to happen on Tuesday?
I think, like they say, the Democrats will squeak by in the House, and the Senate will stay with the Republicans.
Yeah. Well, at least that's a healthier government, Yeah.
There's
a little more
balance of power, a little bit more balance of power.
Well, I would like to see more people go over to one side or the other on certain issues and be a little more malleable in their voting rather than voting some kind of company, party line.
You mean like the Democrats do?
No,
Oh, come on.
The Democrats.
Come on. How many votes did they have that crossed over to any Republican issue other than Manchin, who wanted to get
there are
reelected?
there are a lot of things where the Democrats have gone over. There are a lot of things where the Republicans have gone over, but they haven't been issues that were crucial. Okay.
You mean like you like paying more taxes?
If I get more roads and I get better schools,
but you don't get more roads
and I get
better schools.
But
you get them wasting your money.
You're trying to do, you Republicans are trying to do, is you're trying to give us tax
dollars going to the military-industrial complex.
Well,
so you don't like spending more.
What's the first thing when you did the tax rebate, which by the way is a complete lie because a lot of people haven't seen it in their paycheck. The fact of the matter was that you had the Republicans saying, well, we're going to have to do something because we're spending a lot of money on this tax rebate. I think we're going to have to do away with like Medicare. And
that's the fear mongering.
No, that isn't fear mongering because what's his name? The head of the House said it.
He's history as of January.
But he said it, Phil, and he's a Republican.
I don't know that he said it, but maybe he said it. But, there's no way that they're going to get rid of Medicare. There's no way they're going to get rid of Social Security.
The Democrats,
and there's no way they're going to get rid of abortion.
The Democrats don't fearmonger, quite like the Republicans.
Trying to say they are going to?
Hey, there's a lot of things that your people say, like, hey, let's let them over the borders. Let's raise taxes. There's all sorts of shit. I can't understand.
Yeah, don't worry. You vote for a Democrat, folks, and cats are going to fuck with dogs. Well, I guess I'm forced to do a show on Tuesday night, and that will be election night, and we'll see you then. And I hope you and others will join, and we will have either a depressing party for all the Democrats here or a depressing party for the Republicans on the panel.
I will not be here. I'll be working the polls.
Well, good for you.
At least, Alex, you'll have a topic.
Fuck you, Phil. Anyway, the rest of you, thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. Patrick, thank you. Ray, thank you. I hear you're in the middle of a play right now.
Yeah, we opened last week.
Yeah, okay.
My job's done.
Oh, your job's done. Okay. Phil, thank you very much. Kevin, thank you. I really appreciate your participation tonight. And what I would like you all to do for all those fine people out there in the television land is say a fond farewell by waving goodbye. There they go, ladies and gentlemen, the citizen panel. Oh, thank you, Jason. That's nice, too. Anyway, that's them, and this is us. And I guess I'm forced to come back next week and do more shows, because I said that if I didn't hear from more people on the show tonight, I was just going to quit doing this. Every time I threaten that, people force me into keeping me doing this for I don't know what goddamn reason. But anyway, up next, you've got a wonderful program called The Intersection. It's done by Jack Bishop. And then at 1 o'clock this morning, Eastern Daylight Time, it's Connections. We'll see you again on election night on Tuesday, right after Damian Chaplin in The Exchange at 10 o'clock. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, you know what to do. Tell her I love her, okay? Well, she was here earlier anyway, so...